Hi everyone. So I just kind of want to go back over the discussion today real quick and just kind of like make sure you know where some of these um, camera and light utilities are basically, which is kind of what we talked about today, and along with the lecture on staging, properly staging your scene. Um, those slides are basically on the discussion board. But yeah, so you've got your scene here, and you want to add a camera in here. This is just kind of an intro to cameras. I'm going to turn this grid off, and I might as well put a plane in here so I can have a floor plan. So if you've got your viewport open here, you'll notice there's a camera over here already. The perspective. Say I wanted to add a camera, like obviously, I want to keep my camera view locked down to just this render view whenever I'm rendering out. And I think I like it right there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create camera from view. And it is going to create another camera over here. And I'm just going to call that, this is my render cam, my render view. So that means every time I render out, it's going to render out from that view. You can change it. Obviously there is your render cam. You can go to perspective 1, the other perspective, or your front, and render out from there. Or you can just kind of keep it locked on your render cam. So that way, if you're working in Maya and you're doing stuff around here, you want to be in a different X-ray. You want to be in a different view, basically. I'm going to do it on a 2-pane. It's going to be my render view. You can be moving around over here, and you see your render camera over there, and now you're through your render view over here. You can be adjusting, and then if you wanted to just go up to a render, you can always set it to your render view as your render there, so you can check your render, and it will always render out that camera, in other words. Now, if you don't want that camera to move or anything, you can select it. You can go over the channel box. You can select all these attributes over here. You can right-click. You can just lock selected. So that means if you select it over here, lock selected. Now you'll notice the selector box has turned gray. You can't move it, you can't rotate it, and even if you're in your render view port here, you can't scroll your middle mouse key or anything, or pan up and down or move around. It's actually locked to that view. So that's usually the best thing to do once you get your angle that you want and you like it like that and you want to keep it like that, especially just to create a new camera, lock it down, and yeah, have it floating in there. Just make sure you name it too, so you'll know that's the difference. Because if you hit your space bar and you go to your panels up here, which I like to do, you can see all your cameras here. I've got 2 perspective cameras in there, and then I've got my my front side, my top views. So I'm going to unlock this for right now. And if you want to unlock it, you just kind of select everything and unlock. And now you can kind of move it around. You notice how it's moving there in that view right there. Oh yeah, I've got this is camera that I don't want. Yeah, and you'll notice in the attributes over here, I'm not going to get too in depth with these camera workings, but you notice I'm kind of scrolling in now or there. You've got your focal length, which is basically, this is a set at 30, usually defaults at 35 millimeter. If you expand it some, it's going to shrink the angle view down. Kind of zoom in. You can kind of pump this up right here. Zoom in a little bit more. Kind of give you like a very specific style, in other words, if you're going for different shots. There we go. Now you see my perspective already starting to change. Yeah, that's pretty cool there. So if you have some sort of dynamic shot you're going for, you can always mess with the angle of view and the focal length back and forth to try to get your right shot. That's pretty cool. Um, Also, the depth of field. If you click on your depth of field, now you can start, if you have stuff in your environment in the background, you can kind of start focusing in on just basically one or two things of the object or the environment itself. But I'll click that off so you can mess the f-stop here and your focal distance. Let's go 10, see what happens. Yeah. The way it's kind of like blurred out the backside, but it's got these closer things in the front. Yeah, that's cool. Pretty dynamic shot there. So yeah, there's a lot to do with your cameras. Like I said, if you get to where you are want to look through your camera, you can always, let's see, you can do it another way too if you don't want to switch ports like this. Meshing spacebar, look through that. You can actually select that, hit spacebar, panels, look through selected. Now you're looking through your camera again, and you can actually do that with any object, which is kind of cool. I'm on mine. Let me turn my depth of view off. Depth field, which comes in handy for lights too. Whenever you're creating lights, you can kind of look through the lights. But say like if you got this box here, hit the space bar, go to this panel, look through selected. Now I'm looking through this cube. There's not much to see because I'm basically inside the cube. I'm actually moving the cube around. Because I am the cube, in other words. But this is good for specifically lights, I think, in general, because say like if you got a spotlight created, this is my light view. So any kind of movement or anything I do with my light here, I'll just demonstrate and watch how the light moves over here. This is my view of my light, where I'm looking through my light. Oh wait, I need to move this one. See the way the light's actually moving, because I'm moving in the light, because I am the light, in other words. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with the camera. It's kind of an overview. I don't really get too far deep, and I don't really use a lot of different camera tricks. I just usually use straight cuts for the animation shots I do. I've not had a lot of experience on like filming. Well, I have, but not using like a bunch of high, expensive industry standard cameras. So I kind of rely my experience and my background on like my Maya camera creations in here, which I usually just sticks with a focal length and any kind of like specific perspective shot maybe I'll try to go for. I'll try to achieve it through here, through these attributes here. So, but yeah, but the good thing about it is compared to the real world setting, everything's a value of a equation of value, mathematical equation, so you can always like guarantee that it's going to be exactly that equation that you put it in, and nothing else is going to be affecting it, like outdoor environment, which is the same thing with lighting. So, but that's how to drop a camera in there and lock it down, and create multiple cameras. Go to your render view and create your render camera, which I think I've gotten rid of it. But anyway, that's it. And yeah, thanks for watching.